Good morning. Welcome. Namaste. My name is Jen. Thank you for being here with me today. Today we are going to do just a feel-good flow for all levels, full body, morning, evening routine, whatever it may be. I have heard that it is best to do yoga before 10 a.m. and then after 4 p.m. There's a window of the intensity from the sun. So just what it does to our bodies. So anyway, you can keep that in mind. Before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. is best. So let's start sitting up, okay? If you prefer to lie down on your mat, you're always welcome to start that way too. But just sitting up nice and tall or lying down on your mat and connecting with your breath, feeling your spine, centering yourself in the inner body. You could call all of your energy back to you. Sometimes with our overthinking mind, we put a lot of energy out there. Or, if you ever feel drained or anything like that, people can sometimes kind of take your energy. So maybe we will set an intention of calling all of our energy back to me, back to us, back to ourself, our being. Inhaling through the nose, filling the deep low belly. Expand, inhale, exhale, empty it all back out. Inhale, fill the belly, the chest, fill all the way up to the shoulders, empty out, chest, belly. Inhale, fill, expand, lengthen. Exhale, empty, chest, belly. So we want to fill our diaphragm. This is a diaphragmatic breath. So it's a full body inhale and a contracting exhale. So we draw the navel back in towards the spine on the exhale. Inhale, one more, fill, 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 lengthen, expand, really feel the expansion in the chest. As the rib cage rises, the chest is rising. Exhale, emptying it all back out. The chest and the belly draws in. We can choose to engage in the pelvic floor region if you want to. So lifting the pelvic floor in and up, drawing everything into that center line. Just a few more breaths on your own. Inhale, filling. You can pause at the top of the inhale or pause at the bottom of the exhale. And settling in on an intention for you today, whatever that is. Maybe it's not the intention that I have set. We're going to reach the arms up and overhead and then inhale. Sternum is lifting up, a slight back bend, some seated cat-cow. So roll the shoulders back and down, broaden through the wingspan. Inhale, exhale, belly and round the spine, chin to chest. One more of these, maybe drawing that intention back into your being, into yourself. Inhale, exhale, belly in. Round the spine, chin to chest. Really scoop the low belly. One more, inhale. Reach the sternum up, roll the shoulder blades down the back. So we don't want to crunch the shoulders here. We don't want to bring the shoulders up towards the ears. We want to relax them back and down and soften in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale, belly in, round the spine, chin to chest. Awesome. One more time, we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. So this is good for our lymphatic system, getting our armpits nice and open. This fluid moving back down through the lymph system. Inhale, exhale, we're going to take a twist. Left hand is going to go to the right knee. The right hand Plants by the base of the spine as a second spine to gently gaze past that right shoulder, grounding to the sitting bones. Inhale and exhale, twist just a little bit more. Reaching the arms up and overhead. Inhale here. Sternum lifting up. Exhale. Right hand, left knee. Left hand plants by the base of the spine is our second spine. Gazing past the left shoulder. Easy, gentle twist. Waking up the spine. Inhale, exhale. I'm closing my eyes just because it's so bright. You don't need to close your eyes. You can find a drishti, a gaze point, any point in space. Or you can always gaze at the tip of your nose or close down the eyes. And tune into the listening more than the seeing. Inhale, exhale. Hands are going to go back to prayer for just a moment. Connecting with our center line, our center of gravity, this long line of energy that moves through the body. So just spreading the fingers nice and wide, we can connect the thumb in front of the chest. Feeling more centered, feeling more grounded. The tall spine, strong spine, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to plant our hands in our knees, finding a tabletop. Shoulder over the wrist, hips over the knees. We're going to begin in a spinal balance. So we're going to straighten the left leg and reach the right arm forward. So planting the left hand fully. Reach, lengthen, extend, make the footprint behind you. Drop that left hip bone down or the thigh bone so the hip stays squared. Inhale, exhale, belly in, round the spine, elbow to knee, chin to chest. Squeeze everything into that center line. Inhale once more, elbow up with the ear. Reach, lengthen, extend, make that footprint, strong lifted leg and foot. Inhale, exhale, belly in, round the spine, press the mat away from you. Elbow to knee, chin to chest, squeezing everything in. One more time. Reach, lengthen, extend, and then we're going to awkwardly open this up. So we're going to bring our right hand out to the right. The left foot is going to plant out to the left, so strong hip flexor. Plant that left foot down, the outer edge of that back foot, and we're going to rise up and take a side body opening. Can be a lot in the outer hip. So left hand down the left leg and just kind of paint the sky with the right fingertips. Reach them up and overhead for a side body stretch. You can make this half moon shape, really reaching and lengthening through this whole right rib cage, right side of the body. Inhale and exhale, not forcing anything. Chin going towards the armpit, sternum spinning up. Gaze goes up or down, checking in with the neck, keeping the chest lifting. Awesome. And then other side, left knee meets right, right hand plants. Back to our tabletop. Maybe you want to round a cat-cow. That might feel good for you. Inhale, we drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. You want to send the shoulders forward and the hips back. Just move and breathe into your body. So right hand plants, right shoulders over the right wrist. Spinal balancing. Right leg lifts this time. Back foot stays flexed. Hips are squared. Left arm reaches up. Keep the elbow lifted up with the ear. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee, belly in, round the spine. Press the mat away. We're pressing into the top side of the back foot, the left foot, helping us to stabilize and ground. Inhale, reach that left arm up. Reach the right, lift the right leg. Exhale, belly in, round. Squeeze it into that center line. Inhale. Last one. Reach, lengthen, extend. Take that awkward opening, reaching the left fingertips out to the left. Keeping that right leg lifted. We drop it down out to the right. We rise up. Right hand is going to go down this right leg. Paint the sky with the left fingertips. And reach them up and overhead. Sternum lifting up. Chin going towards the armpit. Or gazing down at that right foot or shoulder, or just any point in space. Inhale and exhale. You should feel really nice stretch here in this outer left side. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Lowering down, left hand plants, tabletop, right meets left. Sway those hips from side to side in some happy cow. Move your sitting bones around a little bit, maybe take some hip circles. You can draw that half circle shape. Spread the fingers nice and wide, and then we'll draw one full circle shape, warming up the wrists, moving in one direction, then the other direction, bringing the shoulders forward, sending those hips back. Index finger points forward towards the front edge of the mat. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. Few breaths in your downward facing dog, sending the heels back, tailbone going back towards the heels, chest going back towards the thighs, gazing back at the navel or back at the feet. You can shake the head yes and no from side to side. Loosening and lengthening up in the spine, through the spine. So crown of the head is lengthening. It's an extension of the spine. Pedaling out the feet, gently bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. You could take a twist as you bend the right knee, gaze under the left armpit. As you bend the left knee, gaze under the right armpit. Sending the hip bone back, the right hip bone back, and the left hip bone back. As we look forward, we're going to lift our right foot up, one-legged downward facing dog. Hips stay squared, the back foot is flexed. Lift that right leg as high as you can. Inhale, exhale, peeking forward, gracefully shift the shoulders forward, belly in, flat back, hugging the knees into the chest, float right foot up in between the hands at the top of the mat. Going to a pyramid pose. So we're going to straighten our front right leg. Hips are squared, that back foot is grounded at approximately a 60-degree-ish angle. So making a triangle with our legs, we forward fold over our front right straight leg, or you could have a micro bend in the knee. You need to shorten your stance a little bit to keep the hips squared. So they're both pointed forward. Forward folding. Forehead to knee or chin to shin. We're trying to bring the chest down towards the thigh. Draw that right hip bone back and the left hip bone forward to keep them squared. Folding, folding, folding. Inhale, lengthen. Extending the spine. We can pop up onto the fingertips. Gaze goes forward. Exhale. Fold yourself in half. Over your front right straight leg. Fold, fold, fold. Left foot is going to float up to meet right. Standing forward fold at the top of the mat so big toes can touch or feet can be hip width apart. Bend the knees, bring the chest to the thighs. Take a bind. You can reach for opposite elbows behind the legs, letting the crown of the head lengthen towards the ground, or opposite elbows in front of you. Anchoring down through the feet, root to rise, soft bend in the knees. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Reverse swan dive the arms, reach them up and overhead. Little mini back bend if you would like. Sternum lifting, hips and pelvis going forward. Otherwise, just lengthen up through the sides of the body. Inhale, exhale, swan diving down, extending out through the fingertips, forward folding, leading with the chest, heart coming forward. Finding a flat back for length in this number 7 shape, so hands can plant forward out in front of us. Could even bring a block here, or they can come up to the shins or even the thighs. So we find a flat back, tabletop back, belly in, extending the spine. Lengthening through that whole back side, really good for the hamstrings. Inhale, exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step, jump, or float to high plank pose. So you can take a big, wide step back, left foot meets right, high plank, goes to low plank, lowering down, moving through a chaturanga. So you can go all the way down to the mat or hover in a low plank, lower chin, chest, and heart, sweep it up for cobra pose. So sweeping the spine through and up. So legs can rest, or they can engage and lift in a full up dog as we lengthen through the center line, Lengthen through that front side. Exhale, tabletop, and we're going to take one child's pose. So opening up the knees wide, the big toes touch, send the hips back in between the heels and forehead down to the mat. Couple breaths in child's pose. You can extend your child's pose, walking the fingertips forward, lengthening through the sides of the body. Send those hips back, and we're going to go tabletop to downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back. Gently pedaling out the feet, bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. Just one more time. Taking an easy twist. Left leg is going to lift up to the sky, hips stay squared, that back foot is flexed. Find your one-legged down dog, send the chest back towards that right thigh. Inhale, exhale, we shift it forward, shoulders coming forward, belly in, flat back, squeeze it into the center line, gracefully floating left foot up, in between the hands at the top of the mat, finding that pyramid pose. So if you need to shorten your stance slightly, bring that right foot in, straightening the legs, forward folding, squaring off the hips. Inhale, flat back for length. Big full inhale, exhale. Forward fold. Right hip bone forward, left hip bone back. Forehead to knee or chin towards the shin, chest to thigh. Inhale, one more. Deep breath in, lengthen. Extend the spine, relax the neck and the shoulders. Exhale, belly in, forward fold. I always feel stuff going back into place here. It's a good one for the morning when you're waking up. Right foot gracefully floats up to meet left. Standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Fold yourself in half. As much of a bend in the knees as you would like, bringing the chest to the thighs. Just noticing where you're at right now. What the body's saying to you. Maybe the legs are really tight, so you need that bend in the knees. If not, we can try to straighten the legs and fold forward just a little bit more. Let's take a bind, interlacing the fingers together at the base of the spine. Draw the shoulder blades together and send the knuckles up to the sky. You can keep the palms together here as well. Inhale, lengthen, flat back, gaze goes forward. Keep your bind, exhale, hinge and fold. Releasing the bind, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time or reverse swan dive the arms, reaching them up and overhead, little mini back bend. Inhale, exhale, belly in, hands go to prayer, Tadasana, mountain pose for just a moment. Awareness in the feet. So once again, our big toes can touch, or the feet can just be hip width apart or a little closer together than hip width. We just don't want the toes out and the heels in. Not yet anyway, maybe in our goddess squat, not in Tadasana. Just feel a little bit taller and more grounded. More centered. We're going to bend our knees. Sorry. We're going to bend our knees and sink our hips low for chair pose. So immediately bend the knees, tailbone going towards the heels, elbows up with the ears. You can spread the toes and lift the toes off the mat. Find this little tilt in the pelvis, bringing the tailbone a little more towards the heels to keep a flat back. Like you're sitting in a chair, spread the toes, lift the toes, shift it forward into the balls of the feet, hover the heels off the mat, playing around with this distribution of weight, finding some balance, spread the toes, lift the toes, activating the feet, the arches in the feet, lift the heels one more time, shift it back, shift it forward. You can play around here. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Gently bending one knee and straightening the opposite leg, releasing in the low back. We're going to place the left hand out in front of us and reach the right arm up to the sky. Stacking the shoulders, sternum spinning up, palm faces forward. Easy twist. Gaze goes up or down, always checking in with the neck. Inhale, exhale, right hand plants in front of us in that center line. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Inhale, exhale. Reach, twisting up. Feel the twist in your spine. Exhale, belly in. Flat back for length in that number 7 shape as we gaze forward. Tabletop back. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step, jumper, float. So you can bring the shoulders forward, using your core strength to jump or float the feet back, or just take that big wide step. Optional flow here. High plank going to lower, lowering all the way down, or dropping down to the knees, lowering chin, chest, and heart. Sweep it up, lifting the torso off the mat for our cobra pose or full up dog. The choice is yours. If you want to rest the legs or lift them up, using your leg strength. Exhale, roll over the toes. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe gently pedaling the feet here, bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. One more child's pose. So we're going to open up the knees and feet wide, send the hips back in between the heels, forehead down to the mat. Finding some length. So while we're down here in our child's pose, we're going to go to frog to open up the hips a little bit more. So instead of bringing the toes to touch, we have our knees open wide. We want to open up the heels wide as well. So bringing those heels towards the outer edges of the mat. Maybe we can flip our toes pointed outwards as well, but it's okay if you're on the top sides of the feet. Just open up the feet wide, the knees and the feet wide. Send the hips back in between the heels, in between the feet for our frog pose. So open up those knees as wide as they will go. Sending the hips back towards the heels. Keep those feet wide. And just breathe. This is a really intense posture. Inhale and exhale, opening up these hips, the groin, this pelvic region. Gaining flexibility and strength. You could be on the forearms or even drop down to the forehead if you want to. Or you could bring your forehead to a block, so you could stack your palms and drop the forehead down. Or rest the forehead on a block, like I said, or just support yourself here on the forearms. Softening the face, releasing the jaw. Remembering that the hips and jaw are connected. So sometimes when we release tension somewhere, we want to clench on in the jaw, hanging on to that tension. So we want to soften the face, release the jaw, allow any tension to dissipate. Just let it go, breathe it away into the earth. Slowly coming out of our frog pose. The longer we're in it, the slower we need to come out of it. So ever so gently, we can kind of shift forward and we'll heel toe our feet and knees back to our tabletop. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out the feet if you would like to. Bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. We're going to look forward and gracefully step or float right foot up. So you can start on the left side if you want to. It doesn't really matter what side you start on. I'm going to lift right leg. So lift right leg, one-legged down dog. Send the chest back towards that left thigh. Find your one-legged down dog. And then we're going to use our leg strength to step this right foot up in between our hands at the top and that belly in. Immediately grounding that right foot and leg down for our warrior 3. Squaring off those hips, elbows up with the ears. Keep the arms lifted. The back foot is flexed. Keep that left hip bone. So hip bones point forward like headlights. That's what we're going for when they're squared off. You can play around bringing the chest forward and the fingertips back for airplane. Lift that back leg a little higher than you think you can. Awareness in that back leg and foot. So really make a footprint behind you, flexing the foot, spreading the toes. Inhale, exhale, sweep the arms forward. Awesome. And we're going to come up to eagle on the right side. So I'm going to face you. So immediately we're going to bend our right knee and drape the left knee on top of the right knee. So bend the knee like you're going into chair and stack the knees. Left knee stacks on top of right. And maybe this foot, the left foot, can drape around the right calf or ankle. It's okay if it doesn't. You can be right here. Maybe it can wrap around. The top side of the foot wraps around the ankle. And then we want the opposite elbow on top. So we have left knee on top. We want right elbow on top for our eagle arms. And then lift the elbows up. Stacking those elbows. You can take a bind. You can bind your wrists or however you want to hang on to the hand. And then draw the knees and elbows into the center line. And then lift the elbows up, finding space in the upper back. Inhale, exhale, sink low, elbows up high. Belly in, drawing knees and elbows into that center line. So strong. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Release it, shake it out, standing at the top of the mat. These standing balancing poses are very good for concentration. Tadasana. So tension pose in yoga, you can just drop the arms by the sides. Your hands could always go in front of the heart space in that center line. We're going to reverse swan dive the arms, extend them out by our sides, reach them up and overhead, swan diving down. Inhale, forward fold, find a flat back for length in that number 7 shape. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step, jump or float, high plank pose. Optional flow, high plank goes to low, press it up, cobra or up dog. Inhale, exhale, down dog, roll over the toes, send those hips back towards the heels. Find a resting breath in your down dog, and the left leg is going to lift up to the sky. Keep that back foot flexed, peeking forward, gracefully stepping or floating it up, belly in, flat back, grounding that left foot down for our warrior 3 on the opposite side. Might be a little bit more difficult on one side than the other. So hips stay squared. Once again, drop that right hip bone down, elbows up with the ears, make the footprint behind you. So strong. You can have a micro bend in the standing leg and the knee. You can have a micro bend in the knee, or we don't want to lock the knee joint, but we're going for a straight leg. Play around with your airplane pose. Bring the fingertips behind you, the sternum, the chest forward. Inhale, exhale. Ooh, one more breath. Lift that back leg a little bit higher than you think you can. Exhale, reach the fingertips back, heart forward, finding our eagle. So left knee bends like we're going into our chair. Right knee drapes, stacks on top of left. Maybe we wrap the foot around the ankle or the calf. We want left elbow on top. Ooh. A little harder on this side for me. Got some tightness in my left side. So really plant that foot fully. Anchoring it down. Ooh, left elbow on top. Lift the elbows up. Draw the knees and elbows into that center line. So the right hand can bind the left wrist. Some people like to you can interlace your fingers, any kind of bind here. Inhale, exhale, sink low, elbows up high. One more breath. Inhale, exhale, stay in. If you fall out, you can get back in. I'm done with eagle on the left side. My left foot and ankle are kind of acting up. So Tadasana, standing at the top of the mat, shake it out. Play around with your eagle pose. We're going to go to one more chair. So we're going to bend our knees and sink our hips low for chair pose. And while we're here, hands are going to go to prayer in that center line. We're going to take a prayer twist. So we'll start right elbow hooking outside of this left knee. You can open up the arms to a T. Twisting and detoxifying. Good for the internal organs and tissues. Inhale, exhale, other side. Prayer, left elbow hooks outside of the right knee or thigh. You can keep the hands in prayer, open up the arms to a T. Either way, just keep everything, the elbow outside of the thigh as much as possible. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, bring the chest to the thighs. You can hang and bind one more time. Opposite elbows in front of you or behind you. Inhale, flat back for length in that number 7 shape. Gaze goes forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step, jump or float. High plank goes to low, optional flow. Press it up, cobra or up dog. So you could immediately go to down dog. You could even take a child's pose. Listening to your body. Dropping down to the knees. We're going to go to our toe torturasana. Keeping the toes tucked. Knees come together. And we're going to stretch out the fascia in the feet. This is also lengthening through the front side of the legs, these meridians. It's good for digestion. Just a few breaths here. If this is too much for you, you could bring the arms forward, planting the hands, taking less weight off the feet. So we can stay here. I'm just showing you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see a little bit better. So we can stay here with the knees together and the toes tucked, or we can untuck the feet. Maybe just stay right here in hero's pose. If this is too much, you could bring a towel underneath the hips and kind of sit back on the towel if it's too much for your ankles in any way. So this is option 2. Option 3 is we open the knees a little bit wider, opening up the heels, and we kind of roll the calf to the outside of the leg. And then we want the knees touching. We definitely want the knees touching, but we're sitting in between the feet, in between the heels, on the top sides of the foot. Knees come together. So this is more intensely opening up the front side of the legs, these front side meridians. And stretching out everything in the legs, including the ankles. We did those standing balancing poses, so it is important to do that, stretching out the shins, the ankles, the feet, the knees, the thighs. But it's unsafe if the knees are open wide here. So we want the knees to come together, okay? So we can stay here, option A, B, or C. If we want to add on to this, we can drop our forearms down behind us. So you could also bring a block or a bolster. So fingertips can touch the feet and just rest yourself on your forearms. You could stay here. Sternum is lifting. Heart offering. Or maybe you lower all the way down to the mat. The spine comes all the way down. Keeping the knees together. And then the hands can reach up and overhead for a bind, reaching for the opposite elbows. Another breath or two. And we come out of it like we got in. We can plant those forearms down, pressing up into the elbows, into the palms, gently rising up. And we're going to straighten the legs out in front of us, shaking those legs out nice and easy. You can roll them out, shake them out a little bit. Make room for your sitting bones, and we're going to take a seated forward fold. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, sternum lifting up. Inhale, flat back, hinge and fold. Reach the fingertips forward, fold yourself in half. Once again, good for digestion, good for the nervous system. The twisting and the detoxifying is very good for in the morning, flushing everything out of the system. Inhale, peek forward, lengthen, extend the spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. slowly lowering ourselves all the way down to our mat. We're going to plant our feet out in front of us, hip width apart. Reaching the fingertips forward, slowly lower down. Try to keep the feet planted. Coming down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. Gently rocking from side to side. To take a happy baby, opening up the knees and feet wide, making a footprint towards the sky. If you need a little bit more opening in the hips and in the pelvis region, straighten a leg here. Dropping it out to one side. The peace fingers can bind the big toe, or you could stay with the ankles, or the hands reach inside of the feet for the outer edges of the foot. Any kind of bind. Drawing the knees in towards the chest one more time. We're going to make some really small circles with the tailbone. Just kind of massaging out that low back, moving in one direction and then the other. My back is suctioning to the mat. It's a little sweaty out here. Taking our final resting pose, Shavasana. Right leg goes to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left edge or corner of the mat, and arms are out by our sides. Lift the chin up slightly. Arms facing up to the sky, up for healing, down for grounding. Please take at least 3 to 5 minutes of rest. Thank you for practicing here with me today. If this practice resonates with you, please do subscribe to my channel. If you would like to see more, please comment on what type of yoga flow, yoga classes, postures, breath work, anything that you would like to see more of, please let me know. And I would appreciate it if you like the video or subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to post at least minimum of one new video a week, one yoga video a week. But I would really appreciate comments, and if you do subscribe, it's kind of a boost of energy for me to keep me going, keep me motivated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great day. Namaste.